All right, boys, it's been several weeks since my crash at Courtland, and I thought that I would run the video and let's analyze it just a little bit. I know some of you think I've been claiming something that happened with my throttle, and I don't know. I still think it did, but I don't know. We'll watch the video together, and I'm going to slow it down. So I just now got all of the video off my 360 camera and started looking at it real close, particularly the throttle. Let's just watch the video from the beginning to the end. So here's my launch. All right, so that's it from beginning to end. It was a horrible launch. I had many problems going on. Particularly, I don't think I properly checked the wing when it came up. It overshot me and it lost some pressure in the right side, so I've received quite a bit of asymmetrical collapse on the right side. You can see that in my hand. I'll just show this in slow motion. So my right hand, look how far my hands are down. So I don't know if I just didn't check it enough, or I'm not really quite sure. I think I may have, I don't know, it doesn't look like I really went that hard. I just stepped forward. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what happened there, because that's quite a bit of check right there with my right and left hand. So, and of course, you know, like you guys know that I try to go throttle on as soon as that the wing gets up into the, the power section, that 45-degree area. So if you'll notice, my right hand went down, and then about right in here is where I think, yeah, right there is where my right side went slack. So that's when the asymmetrical collapse happened. You can see how deep down in the brakes I am. And so about this time, I think it swung back up. It picked me up off the ground at this point. And at this point, I knew I was heavy in the brakes and I was full throttle. So I was going to try to manage. And usually what happens is when I get off the ground and I'm fully in the brakes, what I try to do is I try to manage those brakes and kind of pull them up so that I don't fully collapse backwards or stall the wing as I'm going up. But right here, what was going through my mind was I've got a complete isolation left to right. So I was going to try to make a correction on that. When you're deep in the brakes on both sides, it's hard to make that correction. So I was sitting here trying to search on a solution. But then at that time, I completely lost my any kind of lift that I was having. Actually, I didn't lose lift necessarily. I think the isolation of the wing just dropped me out of the sky. And this is where my feet hit the ground. And man, that does not look. My left heel right here, this is the injury that I sustained the most. And it's like, what, a couple of months since that happened, and my heel is still bruised. And I'm sitting here watching the video, and it didn't look like I hit really that hard. Boom. So, and that was the only time, maybe that, I'm not really sure. But I'm sitting here looking, why is my heel so bruised? I have no idea, because it does not look like I hit that hard. The only thing I can think of is that concrete is so thick and hard it doesn't move. There's no give. These shoes may not have a whole lot of, cushion in them. These are my boots, and they are just nothing but rubber. So maybe that's what it is. I'm not really sure. But whatever happened, from this point, you would think, okay, I'm going to lift off the gas, and I'm just going to run it out. And you see my hand right there. It's straight, wide open. I lifted off the gas. And from this point on, if the motor stopped, I should have been able to run this out, and, everything will be fine. I'll reset up and all that kind of stuff. So from this point right here, see my hand wide open, or my hand is open. The throttle, you can see, looking really close right here, the throttle is fully closed here. However, the motor was still full throttle. and I'm going to play it and let you hear it, the motor was still full throttle at this point. So you saw my hands wide open on the throttle, and you heard the motor fully full throttle with my hand right here. Now listen really closely again. This is what I was talking about. Now you'll notice my hand. You'll notice that my hand, once it went wide open, or open, once the throttle, my hand was open, I pulled my knuckles back in, and it looks like, if you're not looking really carefully, I'm not really, I'm not pushing the throttle open. You can see right here the throttle is not open. It's still in the full closed position. What I was doing right here is I was hitting the kill switch, and it wasn't happening. And so my hands, my fingers are curled up, but I am not pressing the throttle at this time. And you can go frame by frame. Throttle is still in the open position until it goes out of frame. All right, it goes out of frame, it's still in the open position. And then when it comes back into frame, right there, throttle is still in the open position. But you can hear that motor going full throttle all the way until I hit the ground. All right, so let's listen to it one more time. As a matter of fact, I don't know when the motor actually stopped, because like what was going on inside my head is the motor, when my hand went open, the motor was still running, and I kind of freaked out. What was going through my head is, how am I going to stop this motor from running? Because I already pressed the kill switch. My hand was already open. And so that was the biggest fear that was going through my head. What am I going to do when I hit the ground? And by the way, you can't really see it, but what I felt was when that motor was full throttle and I came back, my feet hit the ground again, that motor just shoved me down into the ground. So the thrust actually pushed me down to the ground. You know, I don't know what happened. There's a lot of mystery still. I don't understand when my three things I don't understand. Number one, when my wing came up, I'm not sure why, unless there was a puff of air coming from a different direction. Maybe it was a little bit of, you know, the wind was not that high, or maybe it just came from a different direction, just enough to collapse the, you know, asymmetric collapse on the right side, which started a really dangerous oscillation left to right, front to back, whatever. The second thing is when I went off throttle from this point right here, I was like, see, I'm full throttle, by the way, just to double check right here, this is full throttle. And then this is where I went off throttle right there. Actually, right there is where I went off throttle. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Y'all think I'm lying all the time, but that's my video proof. And if you've watched this video all the way to this point and you still disagree with me, then that's fine, I guess. That's just what I wanted to show everybody. So there. I got to figure out the throttle thing, because I can't let that happen again. By the way, that's the same thing that I felt like happened when I had my broken rib accident 2 years ago. Because the throttle thing, and maybe it's just a lag in the throttle. Maybe something happens where maybe I need a new throttle cable or something like that. Maybe I let off of it and it's just slow to pull back off the carburetor. I don't know, but we got to figure it out. Maybe I need a new spring or something. Anyway, thanks for watching.